Hello everyone, welcome back to Pwn TV. Today I'm actually going to go over some details about the version update that introduced the February ambuscade event to the game, and also along with it introduced another series of upgrades for the ambuscade weapons. This is the fourth installment of the ambuscade weapon series, and so I want to show you guys all of the ambuscade weapons that were just added to the game, and I'll end the video by actually doing an actual intense ambuscade run and show you guys kind of the strategy that you're going to want to implement for the rest of this month, right, basically. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to look at upgrades for Abdalgus Enema, and that is the newest installment of the ambuscade weapon series. So these are all of the newest, latest and greatest weapons from the ambuscade weapon series. This is not the final form of these weapons, but this particular update gave us stats on these weapons that are comparable to basically anything you can buy on the auction house, and then some, basically, because there are some really special upgrades that they do to certain weapon skills, and the jobs that can use these are insane. Like, the possibilities are endless. Like, you can Azurin Fists with a thief now. Like, this knuckle right here allows you to do that. That's just one example. And of course, you know, the damage is 50% greater when you have this knuckle equipped, right? So all those jobs can equip that. So that's really cool, right? Well, they're doing that with all of the weapons in the game, basically. So each of them have a bunch of jobs that can equip them. They're all item level 119, like almost fully upgraded. There's probably one or two forms remaining after this one, but the one we're at right now, we get an unlock weapon skill, which means all of the jobs that can equip this knife get evisceration in this case. If it's in the main hand, if it's equipped to the main hand, you get the evisceration weapon skill, and also when you use it, it gets the damage bonus that's on this actual weapon, okay? So let's go down the list. I'll show you the Kaja sword. This is basically the Corsair's newest sword. Basically, this is going to make all the other swords for Corsair obsolete, like completely obsolete, no question about it. This sword right here, moving forward, is just going to be best in slot for Corsair for Savage Blade sets, right? But it also can be equipped by all of these other jobs. Okay, so it gives Savage Blade to all of those jobs, and it gives the bonus of 15%. That's a fair number considering how strong Savage Blade actually is. You don't really want to bust the game, so 15% is, it doesn't look like a whole lot in comparison to some of the other buffs on some of the other weapons, but they just basically put numbers out there that balanced everything to make everything look competitive in the metagame right now. So like, some of the weapon skills don't do nearly as much damage as others, and so they were adjusted accordingly. For example, let me go down to the axe here. This axe has 120% bonus damage when you use decimation. So that's insane. And what's even more insane about this is the jobs that can use it. One of those jobs is Ranger. Ranger doesn't really use axes all that much unless they need ranged accuracy. There's a lot of axes with ranged accuracy on them, but if they need accuracy, they typically use daggers, and of course with ranged accuracy they have the option of using an axe or a dagger, or both. There's a lot of Unity NM weapons that they could go with, but this one right here changes it a little bit for them, because now not only is it a magic accuracy equivalent of these ranged accuracy weapons, so now when you use magic weapon skills on Ranger or any of these jobs on this list, they're just suddenly stronger. But also, in addition to that, when you use this physical damage weapon skill, Decimation, it gets 120 bonus damage, 120% bonus damage, so that's more than double its normal damage when you use this. You couple this with a gun that I'll show you here, this gun right here. If you put that axe on your Ranger and then you equip this gun on your Ranger, that is insane, because now when you use Decimation, you do more than double damage, plus you also get credit for an extra 1000 TP onto that. So this attack toast plus this earring, when I find it, I'm sure you guys know the earring I'm going to show you. Moonshade earring, this guy's an extra 250 TP bonus, that stacks with the 1000, so you have a 1250 TP bonus on your weapon skills when you fire them off on your ranger. Well, that's all of your weapon skills, guys. So even though that gun is not an item level 119 gun, it is huge damage for your main hand weapon skills. So in this case, the axe, if you were to equip the axe, that is just insane amounts of damage. People are already saying that the axe is super duper good, and it's really strong on warrior. Warrior is going to want to play with that axe and like make gear sets for that axe to implement the decimation damage increase. But think about what ranger could possibly do as well, given the fact that you have a gun like this, an earring like that, and now you have double damage on your weapon skill on your main hand. That's a little bit wild. So I'm really curious how strong that is. I'm actually probably going to get that axe and play around with that and see if I can maybe make ranger into a decimation spam melee job, like a frontline melee job with decimation spams. That would be really cool, because ranger's a ranged attack job, right? So like now suddenly it's a melee job again. That's wild. I mean, that reminds me of like way back in the level 75 cap, where axes actually had to get nerfed at one point because they were just so strong. Rampage was like one of the best axe weapon skills out there, and it's just so strong. But now, I mean, with the decimation that they're doing, that's insanely strong. I want to see 100,000 damage spams from ranger with an axe weapon skill. I think that would be really awesome. Okay, so let's look at the rest of this list and see what else we have that's really juicy. Not so much, actually. I saw a few things that looked really nice, but the axe is like what everybody's really drooling over right now, and the sword, because Savage Blade is just like the thing that you do. Okay. So yeah, this sword, I just finished it, and now I have a Savage Blade plus 15% damage, but I get the Savage Blade weapon skill whenever this sword is equipped on all of those jobs, not just Corsair now. So all of those jobs gets the Savage Blade and gets the bonus damage, and so I can just hop in, and if I want to decide like I'm done ranged attacking, I want to melee now, I'm just going to pop this sword on and then start meleeing, and Savage Blade is just going to go more and more damage. That's just insane. I'm really happy that they didn't put much more than 15 on this, because they knew about that gun and how it affects Savage Blade. Well, now Ranger with the axe has basically its own version of Savage Blade, because they can equip that same gun and have a really strong decimation. Way stronger than Savage Blade if you gear for it. I'm sure you could probably push competitive numbers with that axe combo, alright? So we have a Claymore that has Ground Strike with 15% damage, because this is another popular weapon skill, so not so much of an increase on damage. Just enough to be spicy, right? And this is the Great Axe, Steel Cyclone, 30% damage. I mean, that makes it playable again, I guess. Pretty good stats on it. And it's, again, not the final form of the weapon. Here's a scythe that Black Mage can use. It's actually the best scythe for Black Mage right now. And Spiral Hell damage plus 100%. Like, why not? Okay, sure, okay. I'll take it, alright. So, yeah, the Codulance for polearm users. Warrior, Paladin, Samurai, Dragoon. Standard for polearm users in the game. There's a lot of polearms all the way through level 75 cap, moving forward to level 99 and 119 caps. Lots of really good polearms for those particular 4 jobs, and I'm really excited that they didn't just stop doing that, because I remember Colibri camps as Paladin, I would tank with a polearm and just do damage while I was tanking, because that was just how broken the polearms were against Colibris back in the day. So that's exciting. I'm glad that that's coming back to the game. That gives us that same mechanic all over again, plus extra stats on this that you could do really fun stuff with. Impulse Drive. Could you imagine now your Paladin gets to use Impulse Drive with 40% bonus damage? Like, okay. Alright, sure, why not? Why not, game? Okay, so here's a Ninja Katana that no other job in the game can use. It's just Ninja. Okay, I guess. I don't really play Ninja all that much, but an extra 60% damage on Blade Coup, I'll take it. Yeah, sure, why not? Like, all this stuff is really just going to make these weapon skills playable all over again. So I'm really excited about what they're doing here. And they're really taking their time putting the numbers to where to what they need to be to like really even out the playing field for all these guys, so like one weapon doesn't look superior to all the others. I mean, yeah, people are talking about how the axe is strong, but let's just look at decimation in general. It's not that strong of a weapon skill to begin with, so giving it double damage just makes it playable again, if you ask me. I just think it's going to be really hilarious on a Ranger, and I'm looking forward to seeing people with that build. Okay, so there's the Tachikasha for Samurai and Ninja. Okay, 25% bonus on that. Here's your club. Lots of all the mages in the game get this club. All 6, 7 of them get this club. Okay, blue mages on this list too. Summoner as well. Okay, Black Halo. Black Halo 50% damage. The blue mains right now are saying that this is going to be the new main weapon for blue mage because they're going to be doing Black Halo spams because of the increase on this damage, plus the fact that the rest of the stats on this, magic attack bonus, etc., that's really strong for blue mage in general. So you get a weapon skill, and it's like a Tizona. It's like a really cheap knockoff Tizona right here, basically, and the extra damage on the Black Halo. Why not? Okay. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to see a lot of really cool blue mages moving forward with that build. Okay, so here's a staff, Kaja's staff. Honestly, I'm all about getting staffs, especially staffs that I can use on a lot of different jobs, because I really like playing Scholar, and Scholar uses a staff mainly. So if I can find staffs that are even stronger than what I've already got, then I'm all on board for that. So Kaja's staff looks like an improvement of the previous version. I'm not that excited about it from what I can see here. Retribution plus 20% doesn't look that great. I would really have preferred to see like a 40 or 50 on that, but you know, I guess that's just not how the game wanted to progress. So these guys just don't necessarily, if you ask me, they're getting the short end of the stick. They're not really getting a really superior staff here. But, you know, it's whatever. Now, here's something we need to talk about. The Kaja bow, this is nuts. This is really strong, okay? Look, all the jobs that can use this, they include Red Mage and all these other guys, and the weapon itself has ranged accuracy, ranged attack, and also magic accuracy on it. So even if you're not using the bow to shoot, you have the magic accuracy applied to your character. So any spell you cast gets that 35 magic accuracy bonus. That's a lot of magic accuracy bonus, guys. Like, I thought 10 was a lot in that slot, but 35, and it's not even finished yet? We're probably going to get 50 in this slot. That's going to be exciting. Plus augments, that's going to just 65, 70 fucking magic accuracy in one slot. That's insane. That's better than Dark Matter Augs right now. Like, that's going to be really strong. So don't let this item escape from you. Like, keep your eye on this fucking bow, right? So Empyrean Arrow gets an extra 50% damage when you use it with this bow, and this bow allows all of these jobs to use Empyrean Arrow, whether or not they're subbing Ranger. We don't care. You're going to be able to use Imperial Arrow, and you're going to get that damage bonus on it. So that's going to be really fun for all those jobs. If you just have enough range accuracy, you could make sets for all those jobs, and it would be a really strong way to deal damage. And then the magic accuracy, nothing, you can't shake a stick at that. That is a lot of magic accuracy for Red Mage in that slot, honestly. Now here is the grip that I've been working on. This is the newer evolution of that grip. This has an extra 5 accuracy, 5 magic accuracy, 1 less enmity, and 1 less damage taken. Okay, so basically that is just a small improvement of the previous grip. I'm really not sure what the final version of the grip is going to be, and I really don't know if they're going to allow us to augment it. I don't see why not. But the jobs that can use this do include Scholar, one of my favorite jobs, and what was the other one I was looking at? Rune Fencer. Rune Fencer can equip this, so you can actually tank with Rune Fencer a bit better with this because it's got DT -5 on it, and we're not even done upgrading it yet. So the enmity might hurt you slightly, but Rune Fencer is probably going to be able to handle that, and the fact that it gets all this accuracy and magic accuracy in addition, that's going to make your lunges and your regular attacks better. You're not going to miss nearly as many weapon skills while you actually have this grip equipped. It's just going to be really nice in this slot for Rune Fencer in particular, and also Scholar. If you try to melee with that job, this is definitely something you're going to want to consider wearing. Scholar is all about tanking damage, so the damage -5 is great, and also being able to actually land its combo to deal skill chain damage. So like the regular skill chain that you would do, and then you end it with like a really strong weapon skill. Depending on what weapon skill you use and what skill chain you started with your stratagems, you end up actually closing Light or Darkness with Scholar. And then you can actually burst your helixes that are light and dark. You can also burst your magic burst your Kostra, which is your spell that you only get unlocked when you use Tabula Rasa, which is your 1-hour ability on Scholar. That Kostra on a magic burst is huge damage, and this is just making it even better, basically. Okay, so that's exciting. I'm glad that the accuracy is on this as well, because Like I said, in order to actually close darkness, you have to land the weapon skill, and Scholar doesn't get all that much accuracy. It's actually pretty pathetic how little bit of accuracy this job gets, so an extra 25 in this slot is amazing. I'm really excited about that. Ditto for Geo, you can definitely use the same strategy where you're dealing damage with staffs. As a Geo, I just feel like Scholar does more damage in that regard. So that's all of the upgraded versions of the ambuscade weapons. And just really quick, I'll show you the Scholar, like an example of how GIMP Scholar is when it comes to meleeing. This is the belt that I use on Scope. I lied, that's not it. This is the belt that I use on Scholar right here, Olsini belt. It's an all jobs accuracy plus 20, store TP plus 3. It's a great belt for the jobs that don't have any good belts in the game, basically. It's an all jobs belt that basically is super good for all the jobs in the game when those jobs are just shafted and they don't get any good belts in that slot. So Olsini belt is what I use to TP in, and it's definitely what most of the time, if I'm not using faux shift to weapon skill, I'm using Olsini because the accuracy does work on weapon skills as well, and you really do need to land your weapon skill to close darkness or light or whatever it is that you're trying to do on Scholar. I've made videos about how to do that. This is not one of those videos, so I'm not going to talk too much more about it. I just wanted to point out how GIMP Scholar was at the moment, and giving us that extra 25 accuracy on the grip is just really nice. I really like that. So I jumped at the opportunity to build that grip when it first came out, and now they're just making it even better, so I'm really excited about that. Okay, now that I've rambled about this update, let's actually look at how you might actually get the hallmarks completed for this month so you can get the items necessary to actually reforge these upgraded ambuscade weapons. So let's get into it. I've got a video that I just recorded where I went in and I did intense difficult mode. I would recommend people don't do very difficult with 5 or less people. They're going to need all 6 for very difficult, which makes murking a little bit hard. So if you're actually trying to make a bit more money every time you go into ambuscade, you're going to want to sell your last slot in your party to somebody that's willing to just go AFK and give you money, and then you get money and they get hallmarks and everybody's happy. But you can do a 5-man no problem in difficult mode. I have not been able to do a 5-man in very difficult. In fact, I can barely do a 6-man in very difficult, and it takes just as much time, if not longer, plus more of a chance of wiping. There's just one extra ad in very difficult mode. I think they just scale the ads by 1 each time you up the difficulty, and the levels of those mobs also get scaled. And if you ask me, after having done all of the different difficulties and seen this, I feel like the higher difficulty content, actually they level up more consistently when you fuck up in the event. When you do something that triggers their chance at leveling up, in the lower difficulties, they usually just ignore it. One of the mobs might level up, or they'll all just ignore it, like I said. But in the very difficult mode, oh, you fuck up at all, they're all leveling up, man. They're gonna all fucking level up and start crushing you. And that's just the very difficult mode. So if you ask me, if we're looking at like hallmarks over time, I still think that murking a difficult mode with 5 people would probably save you way more time and make you way more money than murking a very difficult mode with 5 people. Because those 5 people in very difficult are going to need to have top-notch gear, and they really have to know what they're doing when it comes to actually completing the ambuscade for this month, because there's a lot of tricks, and I will talk about those tricks when we play the video. So stay tuned. I will load it now, and I will see you guys afterward. Enjoy. Alright guys, here's the actual difficult, intense ambuscade that I did. This is one of my first wins. I did win before I recorded this, but I lost a bunch after that, and then I finally won again. So one thing I'll just say about this content is it's very likely that you're going to lose, as opposed to last month, where it was very likely that you would just always win. If you stuck to any of the viable strategies, you would just always win. But this month, it's not really like that. This month, if you fuck up at all, you get penalized for it. There's a lot of things that these mobs will do to really fuck you over. and it's frustrating. So if you're the kind of person that gets an attitude when you die, this is probably an ambuscade that you're going to want to avoid. But if you're the kind of person that wants to actually get rich, then this is the kind of ambuscade for you, because it's so difficult. Once you figure out the strategy, you'll be first in line to actually start selling clears to people. You'll be first in line to get all of your hallmarks done, all of your new weapons done. You'll just be way stronger at that point. You'll have way more loot at that point. You'll have more gil in general from selling clears at that point. It's a really simple strategy, guys. You just go up there with a red mage subbing black mage or scholar, and you do an area of effect sleep spell. That's it. You don't even need to buff it much, because red mage has enough magic accuracy to win in any difficulty with any amount of gear, pretty much. So my red mage is best in slot everything for magic accuracy, literally best in slot everything. So my spells are probably going to be most likely to land in any difficulty. We're in difficult mode, not very difficult mode, so I am not even caring. I'm not using a food effect. I'm not using job abilities. I'm just pressing the button and letting gear swap into the gear that I need for the magic accuracy bonus that I'm looking for. And then I just fire the spells off, and I don't get resisted. These mobs will resist occasionally earth spells. So slow gets resisted occasionally, but if you're playing red mage, you can actually trigger the immuno break and hit him with another slow, and it usually lands. It's not that big of a resistance on earth spells. They just happen to have some resistance to earth magic. That's just what they do. They're rats, you know, that's what rats can do. Okay, so that, and also the since you sub black mage, you get access to the damage over time spells. Rasp is one of them, but it's the earth damage over time. That one usually gets resisted as well, and that's going to be pretty tricky to land when you without the right gear set. You're probably not going to land a rasp, because it's not a native red mage spell, it's a black mage spell. So it's a bit different than most of your native red mage spells when you're trying to actually land it. But anyway, you don't really need to worry about it, because there are 5 other damage over time elemental spells that you have access to, and they all pretty much land all the time. So you can just pick any of those 3 and you'll be good to go. Just skip the rasp. So notice that there's 4 mobs here, so it's really tricky to land one Sleepka and hit all 4 targets after the middle boss left the middle of that group. There's no target in the middle to target, so the Sleepka spell is usually a bit wonky on difficult mode, but on very difficult mode, there's an extra ad in the middle still after you pull the boss, so you could just target that middle ad again and hit all 5 of the Kikurns with your Sleepka spell over and over again, and just not care. But since it's a higher difficulty, you're more likely to just get wrecked if you go over there and try to 1v5 the Kikurns. If they wake up at the wrong time and you don't have the right buffs on, if they do the right amount of weapon skills at the right time, you could get fucked real easy. In difficult mode though, that usually doesn't happen. You usually just don't get resisted, you really don't take any damage, you don't even really care if the bombs explode in difficult mode. If the bombs explode in very difficult, it's chaos. Everybody levels up, it's a nightmare. But in difficult mode, it's very rare that I've only seen one mob level up in difficult mode. One ad leveled up one time in difficult mode. That's how rare it is from what I can tell. But when I was doing very difficult, all the mobs would level up pretty much every time you fucked up. Every time you fucked up, every time a bomb exploded, it was just GG. So I personally think it's more trouble than it's worth to do very difficult mode. I feel like you could spam difficult faster than very difficult in most reasonable cases, and you don't want to waste 8 hours dying over and over again in a very difficult run, especially if you thought you could sell a clear to somebody because maybe your 5 friends are like really overgeared and you can go in, but then you die to one bomb blowing up. It's just ridiculous. The amount of random number generator flukes that happen in the very difficult mode is just insane this month. So I think we should stay away from the very difficult mode and just spam the difficult mode. I think it's more reliable and you can sell clears just as easily. People are looking to buy ambuscade clears and people are looking to farm hallmarks. You're going to be able to find 4 buddies to make a 5-man group. You're going to be able to sell the last slot. In this mode in particular, you can do it with 4 or 5 people, no problem. You could probably even do it with 3. So it really just depends on how badass you are and how good you are about hitting the bombs. But again, like I said, in difficult mode, the bombs exploding is not the end of the world. You just sleep get everything again, and you don't care. You don't take any damage from them hardly because their accuracy is lower, their damage is lower, and you have blink, so you're not going to take any damage. I don't even use stone skin anymore. In very difficult mode, sure, I'll use a stone skin, but in difficult mode, I don't even bother because it's like they're not going to get through my shadows, and if they do, big whoop. If they start getting my HP low, I'm a red mage. I have a mythic sword. That means that my convert ratio is broken, so I just hit convert and I have a full HP aura again. No problem. Easy, easy peasy. Every single time.
It's like another HP bar every single time. It's amazing. I love this sword. This is a great sword. You guys, if you play Red Mage, you should consider the Mythic. Also, the Aeonic is not bad. The Almace for Empyrean is probably my favorite, but I don't think I'm going to farm it for a while. But the Mythic, oh my god, it's actually underrated. I like it, I really do. It's expensive, but I think it's worth. And it looks cool. That's swag as fuck, man. So you can see, like, the ads will creep up on you every time they wake up, but that just makes your Sleepka spells easier. And yeah, they might start hitting you, but since your back's turned to them, they can't terrorize you, right? When they come up behind you. And you could just use Sleepka again. Pretty much hit everyone because it's an area of effect that's just a really broken radius. And you just don't care. I mean, in fact, all people are dying left and right in this event right now. I'm playing a mage. I'm supposed to be the support that saves them. Not much you can do when they get one shot, you know what I mean? So you just let it happen. But I have a fucking Afterglow sword, so I can actually come up here and start poking things if my DPS dies, and I'll just wait for them to get raised. No problem. I'll just man the fort. Now, one thing I'd like to make a note of: if you go down as the healer or as the red mage, you need to get back up really fast, especially if you're the one responsible for Sleepka, because if you don't sleep these ads, they're going to kill everybody. They're just going to spam phase, terrorize everyone that's looking at them. They're going to circle around you like this, like what they're doing right now, and start phasing you from different angles to where you're really fucked. You don't really have it. Look at this guy. Cynical just got fucking terrorized. Like, what are you going to do? Like, which way are you going to look? They're going to phase in every direction, and you're just going to have to deal with that. And then they're going to just kibosh you while you're terrorized. You can't put your shadows back up. You're just going to get hit for 2,000 damage and just go down instantly. And that's just what happens in this event. So if you're not okay with dying in ambuscade, this is going to tilt you a lot playing this event. So you just got to be comfortable with it. And I feel like the best way to avoid it is to just be as beefy as possible, A, and B, use your fucking blink spells, dude. Because you can use the shadows to actually absorb the kibosh damage. Easy peasy. It's one shadow. It's not even two. It's one shadow, and it's done. So these guys all kibosh you at the same time? Blink! You're done. You don't even care. It's the semi. Who cares? Third Eye on Samurai. No problem. I'll just use Sagan and Third Eye. I have a fucking blink spell every 30 seconds or whatever it is. You're not going to get damage through. It's fine. Really, really strong strategy this month. But if you lose the Sleepka, you have to get him back up. It's very important. Like I said, in this event, I'm actually going to die here in a minute. And when I'm dead, I have to ask the white mage to, because the previous time that this happened, we lost. I just made sure to tell the white mage right away when I died, you know, you just got to get me back up. Just get me back up, I'll Sleepka everything, and we'll just finish off the content. No problem. I'll just be weakened, but they'll all be asleep, so it won't matter. You know what I mean? And sometimes when they use perfect dodge, I get impatient because I've been spamming this all day, so I'll just switch targets and start fighting another one, kind of like it's Dynamis all over again. But that's a bad idea. I will say that right away, that I wouldn't recommend doing that, because you don't want to wake up at more mobs than you need to. If you are going to do that, then you need to sleep the one that used perfect dodge, because he's not going to get hit anyway, so he can't get woken up. So you just might as well sleep him and then focus on the one that doesn't have perfect dodge. If you want to do that to save like 30 seconds of your day, then go for it, but it requires teamwork to do that kind of a play, I've noticed, and I don't think it's worth unless you have like people in Discord chat that you can just do that. You can just sleep it and then go to another target, and then he'll use perfect dodge, and you just move to another target after that, no problem. Blink is very important here. Go ahead and sleep this guy. So Kibosh missed me. I have blink, so Kibosh didn't hit a shadow, but it just completely missed. I think the mob might be blinded. It is a physical attack, so blind might actually impair its accuracy on Kibosh. But typically when you actually eat it with a blink, you'll see the text saying that the shadow absorbed it and disappeared. That did not happen in this case. I just simply saw that it missed. So good. Really high evasion score, I guess. That's good. And that Kibosh only did 300 damage. That's good. It's really random how much damage you actually do on the Kibosh. I think it has something to do with the skills that they do immediately before they use Kibosh. I've seen that they just use another skill, like a steal ability that steals like a stat, and then then they do kibosh, and based on what they did previously, it might affect the kibosh. Can't swear that that's how that works, but if I coded the game, that's how I would do it. So I feel like that there might be something to that. So just be careful. If they start spamming abilities, you might want to back off and kite them a little bit. Might be a good call. Steal HP, half my life just gets deleted. And then another one uses steal HP and the other half gets deleted. Fantastic. So that happened. So yeah, I mean, if you're not okay with this, then you shouldn't be playing in this event this month. Because this is going to happen. People are going to die. You're going to die a whole lot in pickup groups this month. I don't know how to spell raise. I did that on purpose. I'm playing a lot. I do what I want. So if he gets me up, I can sleep go everything and nobody else will have to die. But if he doesn't get me up, eventually the white mage will tap out, healing everyone, and not be able to get me up at that point moving forward, and then everyone will systematically go down every single time. So you have to get the sleep go up. So as soon as I get up, I'm just going to sleep go. Definitely recommend blue mages and dark knights and warriors this month. They are very, very good at damage. Tor Cleaver and whatever the hell blue mages are doing, it's just amazing damage typically. So I really don't have any abilities. We're pretty much at the end of this fight and I've used everything. So that's unfortunate, but I'm weakened, but I'm not. We're not wiping, so that's a plus. If this was very difficult and that happened, we probably would just be wiping. So another 20 minutes lost. But in this case, no, we're gonna get hallmarks. Actually gonna get the content done. Buffs are important. Definitely don't keep relying on your red mage to buff you though in this content, because he has a lot on his plate in this particular content. With this strategy, the red mage has to nurse all of the ads. So whatever difficulty you happen to be on, all of those ads, red mage gets to babysit them. So you asking for every fucking haste imaginable after you die, you want more hastes? Well, why did you die in the first place? Because you didn't have your shadows up and you took a kibosh to the face. Whose fault is that? That's not the red mage's fault. So you do this, you're going to lose the content, basically. If you keep begging for buffs because you keep dying, you're probably losing the content. There's very few support jobs in the party setup for this content this month that you really can't afford to just keep spamming the same buffs on people. So it just really helps if nobody goes down in the first place, but that's very unlikely that that will be the case. Pretty much right now I'm just working on my DPS because I want to see what I'm capable of. I think I still have a lot of work to do on Red Mage, but the content's basically over. We win here, pretty much. I don't see a way to lose at this point. But you'd be surprised how many times you're still able to lose after you kill the boss, because those ads are vicious. They can all one-shot you, and there's a lot of them. And they wake up like every 2 minutes when you sleep them, so it's kind of annoying. Plus they're like 95% immune to gravity. You have to like use Stymie to land gravity on them, and even then it's a single target spell. Unless you sub Scholar and use Manifestation, you could go Stymie, Manifestation, Gravity 1, and it'll hit every other target. But if you do that with Gravity 2, it won't work. Just a heads up on that one. I tried that. Did not work. But Stymie, Manifestation, Gravity 1, that hits everything. So you could get that to work, but it will wear off by the time that it's relevant, so I don't even think it's a relevant play. Like, you probably should just not worry about gravity the whole time. You can land Bind. Bind is a good buff to, a good enfeeble to use in this content. If you're not sleeping them. If you're not spamming your sleep spells, that's probably the way to go. These mobs don't have any MP, so you can't Asper them. You can't energy drain them with a dagger. You could use Merker, but Red Mage doesn't have the ability to unlock Merker as a staff weapon skill. That's, I think, only Geo, Scholar, and Summoner, and also Black Mage, right? I think maybe those guys. But Red Mage is not on that list, unfortunately. Their staff skill is pathetic. So just work on my DPS. The update for this month on Red Mage basically says if you have Composure up, your end spells actually do more damage. That's just what the update said. So, but my luck, I use composure, in spell, and then he uses perfect dodge. So I don't even really get to actually apply my in damage. But you know that happens. You can't really afford to use larceny on these guys because they just spam perfect dodge. I feel like the smart play is just to sleep it and move to another one, but this is the only one left. Can't really cast any spells. I'm so out of mana. That was a good light skill chain. That's why blue mages are so strong. They can just keep spamming CDC. Magic bursts are okay here, but I wouldn't recommend bringing a magic burster. I feel like physical damage is more than enough. I'm actually testing energy drain right now in this clip, but I found out in this video that actually I don't get anything back. Weakness is about to wear off, which means I get some pretty insane damage with the blurred knife +1 at that point. Once I'm unweakened, it gets pretty nice, pretty nasty actually. I just gotta get past this perfect dodge, and then I got some pretty good TP potential. But I wouldn't recommend doing this because you're not going to get an MP off of it. I was hoping to get MP off of it because I didn't have covert. Could use the club. The club would give you MP back when you use a weapon skill on it. You get Starlight and Moonlight. You have a pretty good club skill on Red Mage, so you could do that. That's a pretty reliable way to get MP back. It's not as good as the other ways, but whatever. If this mob had MP, I could just energy drain to full, probably. That's not bad DPS right there for a red mage. Just a blurred knife. Not bad. I'm missing a lot, but I don't have a food effect because I just died. So, that's the thing. Throw some debuffs out there. The relevant ones are, again, blind, paralyze, and slow. Dia, distract, addle, and what's the other one? The one that allows the skill chain damage to do more. I forgot what it was called. Whatever it is. So when you get towards the end like this, the RNG really fucks with you sometimes. Like, you just get sniped out of nowhere. All of the mobs at once will sometimes snipe you out of nowhere, and it's a lot more than you're capable of handling in some cases. Just really, really random chances to die in this content. And like, the lower these mobs get, the more angry they get. They do the craziest shit. Like, I honestly didn't expect this last mob to be so difficult to kill, but he's just doing everything. He's doing everything in his power to not die so we can't win. And he can kill any one of us anytime he wants, pretty much. If we don't have a blink. Go ahead and switch to my magic shield again. Aw, poor Tor Cleaver guy. He died again. Got wrecked. So I'll just tap out before I die. I'll use all my MP before I die. That's my plan. He's gonna take it anyway. He's gonna use his fucking Asper move and steal it anyway. Stun gets resisted, of course. Not immune, but resisted. And that's basically the whole fight, guys. You can see that for a pickup group, with the first win that we got, you're looking at 20 minutes, and you're done, pretty much. You get the ambuscade out of the way, you get your records of imminence out of the way for the ambuscade, and you could just go and get some more ambuscades lined up after that. Instead of waiting in town for a very difficult group to actually come together and actually win, you could just do this. It's just as hard, honestly, and there's less bullshit. There's just less bullshit. So that's it for the video. I hope you guys took something from this, and I guess I'll end it here. Thank you so much for watching it to the end, and I hope you guys have the best luck possible this month in Ambuscade. Please let me know in the comments if you have really any OP strategies that you pick up over the next coming weeks, and I would be definitely interested in reading those and hopefully make some more videos regarding that information once it comes, once it's provided to me. So again, guys, thank you so much. I'll end it here. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.